And what I want to do today is basically give you an overview of kind of how companies think and what they need to hear from you so that you can get out of them what you want. Just as a quick overview, industry really is a vital part of this issue. In the United States alone, it's a $2.5 trillion industry, and they spend over $15 billion in media. So listening to, for instance, Mauricio earlier talking about how some of the funding dries up for a lot of the programs, my philosophy is, all right, they have the money, they have the resources, they know the consumers, so how do we get them to do our heavy lifting for us? All right, and this way we don't run into the circumstances where perhaps you have to deal with funding issues, et cetera, and make it in their best interest to do so. And a couple of other key important points, and that is there's a different set of rules when you engage these folks. All right, there's a way we have dialogue. If you look at the conversations we've had this morning, the way the dialogue is very collaborative, it's sharing ideas. It's a different language. It's a different way to talk. And you also have to get into their headsets. They don't go to work in the morning with your mission in mind. They have their own individual missions, either as companies or with their product lines. So these are the distinctions I want to make right up front. And then start getting into how a business affects a culture of health. There's really 4 ways that they do that. First of all, it's via the products they sell. All right, are they good for you products? Are they the usual higher calorie versions? Their marketing and communications impacts culture of health. It's not only the dollars they have, but it's their ability to communicate, and perhaps the more important word is to persuade. They're very good at this. Marketers sometimes are being accused of being very clever. That works both ways. So let it work again for us. Also through their employees and secondarily their families, all right? How they treat their employees via, let's say, workplace wellness types of programs. And finally, the impact on the community, all right? They have huge impact. It's not only headquarters, but it's also where they have their manufacturing plants or their distribution centers. So they have big footprints. And again, going back to my personal philosophy is how do we leverage this to help us achieve our objectives? So first step is you have to kind of get inside the head. Now, this is a complicated head, all right? I've shown some other ones. This is the simplest one. It's generally pretty confused, but we'll get down to it. The operative word here is growth. They have to grow their businesses, whether they're selling healthier products like water or whether they're selling Lay's potato chips. They have one mandate, and that is to grow. And the reason they have to grow is because they have to increase their sales and their profits, because that's how they increase their stock prices, which is what Wall Street asks for. So when you ask them what is their objectives, well, I want to increase my sales or my revenues or my profits, but I do also care about my consumers and customer loyalty and my reputation. And those latter 2 points are some very important plug-in points, particularly as it relates to aligning visions and missions that we spoke about today. So again, remember that they don't go in the morning saying, our job is to reduce rates of childhood obesity. I recall going in, you get a sheet of paper in the morning, if you're the Cheerios brand manager, it says, all right, you sold X cases yesterday, the day before it was this, last week it was that, and oh, by the way, you're 10% behind budget, get to work. That's the way it is. So again, that's what they're seeing on a minute-to-minute kind of basis. So important other aspect is brands are their babies, whether it's these better-for-you type products or if you're the brand manager for Pepsi or Coke or anything else. That's your responsibility, and it's your responsibility to nurture that child to grow via line extensions or what it is or improving it, but you're also supposed to be pretty astute to the marketplace also and see what changes are. And one of the ways not to engage industry is to tell them their babies are ugly. So here's just an example of a study that came out on restaurant products, and it's like 96% of all the foods and beverages in fast food restaurants didn't meet the USDA criteria for calories, sugars, saturated fats, salt, etc. So, all right, so what do I do? You just told me 98% of my kids are ugly. What do I do? You want me to discontinue 96% of my products? How do I act on this kind of research? So the key, I'm just trying to show you examples like this so you can see we're really talking about how to reframe and engage here so that, again, think of what we want to accomplish as opposed to we want to be right. Let's not worry about being right. Let's think about achieving our objectives.